Hi guys, it's Lucy, and today I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up. This past January has been a good reading month and, a pretty good regular month for me. For the country of the United States of America, not so good. In other news, I hit 500 subscribers, I think last week, the week before last week. Yeah, so I'm not very good at, thanking you guys, but I just wanted to say thank you guys for 500 subscribers. It means a lot to me that 500 people like my videos enough to wanna, get notified whenever I make more videos. So thank you so much. I read 14 things in January. 7 of them were graphic novels and 7 of them were real regular books. Not that graphic novels aren't fake books, but you know what I mean. And I took part in 2 readathons, the biannual bibliothon and the diversathon. For the biannual bibliothon, I actually did a vlog kind of thing, so if you're interested, I'll link that down below. So let's get into the things that I read. The first thing that I read was Paper Girls Volume 1, written by Brian K. Vaughan. I forgot to look up the artist when I was writing my notes for this, so I don't know who the art is by. This is set sometime in the 50s, I want to say, definitely in the past. And it's about these girls who are the first, paper girls in their route, which is another reason I think it's like the 50s. It's about these girls who deliver papers, hence paper girls, and then something weird happens to them. And it's about the weird thing, and I don't want to get into what that is because spoilers. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. I thought it was very interesting. I'm intrigued to read on in the series, especially because I've heard amazing things about Volume 2. The biggest downfall of this is that it's just kind of confusing. It really throws you in there into what is going on, and you don't really know what's going on, but, I didn't mind the art. I thought it was pretty nice. The next book that I finished in January is Another Day by David Levithan. This is kind of a companion sequel, more of a companion to Every Day by David Levithan. And it's basically the perspective of the love interest from Every Day. I gave this 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I think I would have enjoyed it less if I had read it, the way it was not intended to be read, because this was written years after Every Day. But if I had read it, closer to when I had read Every Day, because a lot of it is just rehashing of what had happened in the other book, which I could see being annoying if I, remembered most of what happened. But I think I read Every Day 4 or 5 years ago, so I really forgot a lot. I enjoyed the writing. I like this love story, this kind of love story. I really enjoyed it. Next, I reread the first 3 books in the series of Unfortunate Events series in preparation for the Netflix TV show. It was supposed to be the first 4 books, but I ended up reading the 4th book this past week or so I didn't finish it in January. But yeah, I wanted to reread the first 4 in the series because that is what the first season of the Netflix series is based on, so I wanted to reread them and watch it. So currently I need to watch the 6th episode. That's where I am in the Netflix series. I have been watching TV kind of slowly, but I have completed the whole first 4 books. But I'm only going to talk about the first 3 in this video. The books that I reread in January were The Bad Beginning, The Reptile Room, and The Wide Window, all by Lemony Snicket, and I ended up giving all of them 4 stars. I really enjoyed rereading the series. The last time I read the series was the first time I was reading the series, and that was, I don't know, probably 4th or 5th grade, so it's been a long time, but rereading them reminded me why I loved that series so much when I was younger, and I thought it was a great series starter. It is pretty middle grade, but it is a middle grade book, especially with the definitions in between and all that stuff, and the interjections by Lemony Snicket. It bothers some people, but I actually really enjoy it. I like having Lemony Snicket as, an extra character in the story. And the first book I thought was a great introduction to the series, and the second I think would have been my favorite of at least the first 4. The third one I liked maybe not as much, but still enough to give it 4 stars. The next few books I read for the biannual bibliothon: Static Shock Volume 1 by... I didn't write the writer or the artist for this one, so I have no idea. This is a trade about Static, who, if you don't know, is a superhero with electromagnetic powers, and he had a TV show when I was younger, and there was an original comic series. This was the New 52 reboot that I read this past month, and yeah, I loved the TV show when I was younger, so much so that I did read the original series. It took me a while to find it, but I did read that, and I really enjoyed that, so I was excited for this reboot, even though I know it got canceled after this trade. And I can kind of see why, because I don't think it was the best introduction to this character, because a lot of it I felt like you needed to know stuff that had happened before, and like I hadn't read anything featuring this character in a long time. If you had never read anything about Static or knew anything about him at all, you would have no idea what was going on, and it just wasn't that interesting. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars because I do love Static, but I can't say I recommend it. And if you don't mind super dated material, then I do recommend the original run of Static. And I think he's a Teen Titan now. I'm really behind on DC Comics. So yeah, if you care about black superheroes, you can read that. I think he's a Teen Titan, maybe? I don't know. Next we have Gemina by J. Kristoff and Amie Kaufman. This is the second book in the Illuminae Files trilogy, and I gave it 4 stars. We follow 2 new characters that weren't in Illuminae, and that is basically the only summary I can give you because I feel like anything else is a spoiler. I gave this 4 stars. I did enjoy it, but I had a lot of issues with it, and I actually did a full spoiler-free review, and then a spoiler book talk is like the majority of the video. So if you're interested in my spoilery thoughts, then I will link that video down below and somewhere on the screen. I just had some issues with it, and I thought that it got a little bit gimmicky, but I did really like the characters in this one, and of course I am looking forward to the 3rd book coming out at the end of this year, I assume, because that's when the first 2 came out, towards the end of the year. Still, for the biannual Levithan, I ended up reading Saga volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just marathon read them because they all came in from my library at the same time during like my last 3 days at home before I had to come back here to school, and so I really wanted to read them. And so I just read them and threw away my whole biannual Bibliothon TBR. I enjoyed this series. I read the first volume last year when I was taking a comics class. I think around this time I read it. I don't know. I don't have any issues with it. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to see where it goes. And I just don't think I'm as in love with it as other people seem to be. But I do enjoy it. I do recommend it. This is definitely an adult comic book series. If you don't mind, you know, nudity, violence, and is it yeah, it's pretty graphic violence or anything like that, then I recommend it. If you do mind those things, this is not the series for you. And now this book I did not read for any readathon, Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 2nd book in the Grisha trilogy. I am reading the Grisha trilogy, so eventually I can read 6 of Crows. I really enjoyed this. I think I liked it a little bit more than the first one because the first one had like a lot of explanation to do and like ground setting, if that makes sense. I don't know. I forgot the word for it, but you know when like it explains things so it like sets the ground for like other things to happen. I don't remember. But this one, like since everything's like set up, it just kind of goes into the story, and I felt like I enjoyed that more. I really liked a new character who was introduced in this book a lot. I really have a thing for guys just named Nikolai, I guess. That's what I'm realizing. Anyway, I've seen some reviews where a lot of people thought that nothing happened in this book, but I can kind of see where they are going with that, but you know, I thought enough stuff happened and I enjoyed it, and it's just a fun read. I gave this 4 stars if I didn't already mention that. And last but not least, I read How It Went Down by Kekla Magoon. This is a book about the community of a black boy named Tariq Johnson who gets shot by a white man, and it's about the after effects and how that affects the community and, you know, everyone around, like his family, some people who were there, people who weren't there but just like lived near him, like his friends and things like that. Yeah, I think it's a really important read. I did film a review of this. I don't think it's very good, but I will put it up because I think this needs more exposure in the world. I think, as I said, it's an important read, and I really want other people to read it, especially because everyone is so excited about The Hate You Give, and I think that this has a similar premise, even though I haven't read The Hate You Give, so I don't want to draw too many comparisons, but from what I know about the summary of The Hate You Give, I think this is a book to also go into if you want a different perspective, because this is told in multiple points of view. Then I think this is a good one to pick up, or if you can't get your hands on The Hate You Give, because I don't think it's out yet, then definitely pick this up if you want to prepare some. As I said, I have a full spoiler-free review that will be up soon. So this video was super long because I had so many things to talk about, but yeah, those are all the books that I read during January. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any opinions about any of the books that I mentioned in this video, please be sure to leave a comment down below. And if you like seeing me talk about books, please be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make more videos where I talk about books. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!